Well, hello everybody. Welcome to She Said, He Said. I'm not sure what was going on with the video there, but sorry about that. And we talk about love and romance on this show, and we have our panel here today, and we're down two today, but we have a guest, and we might have another guest in a little bit. Tom Smith, welcome to the panel.
That's John Smith, but it's close.
I was reading your thing on the screen. Oh my God.
Okay. I call Rob Bob. It's all good.
Yeah, that's Lynn at the bottom there.
The show.
We talk about love and romance here and whatever comes out of Flynn's mouth. We're going to try hard not to talk about your show yesterday, but I know we're going to talk about it. Guaranteed.
Hit a bus.
No, actually, it was a good subject, but we probably can't go in depth as quite as much as your show. So people, I suggest, Flynn, if you got a piece of paper, write down in with Flynn, or is that in with Flynn?
In like Flynn.
In like Flynn, sorry. Type that into your Facebook. Go check out her channel. And she did a show yesterday that was unique.
Very, very candid.
Yes. So going through my panel real quick, let me get everybody introduced. Of course, first gal right there is Flynn Beck. Welcome to the show. And then Chandra, she's in our Las Vegas gal. And our guest today is not Tom Gulley. It's John Smith.
That's right.
And then last but not least is good old George G. Navy boy. You changed it. You're not the G man anymore. Yeah, it would have been funny.
It's Veterans Day.
Yes, I did.
That's right. He should have called himself.
Happy Veterans Day to all my friends. Happy Veterans Day to all the boys and girls that are veterans today. Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes, definitely.
Right.
Yes.
And of course, I'm Ranger Rob, better known as Rob Scribner. And I want to remind you that this show can be found on Good Talk Radio, on Spreaker, and now we're on Cutting Edge TV. So come check us out on Roku, of course. And you can also go to cuttingedgenetwork.com and watch our shows there. So all the episodes are up there, and please enjoy. And so, you guys ready for love and romance today, guys?
Always.
Yeah.
Yes.
I know, I'm old school.
Outstanding.
I keep saying guys. I should say panel. People.
I'm okay with guys. It doesn't
You
bother
guys
me.
are y'all.
I catch myself once in a while, but I tend to be kind of old school, and I apologize.
You got the cowboy hat.
Doesn't offend me.
Yeah, I'll just call you guys. How's it going, pilgrims?
There you go. I'll go with pilgrims.
So last week we were talking about how to be good ladies and gentlemen, and I just wanted to kind of catch one last part of that, and then I'm going to move over to the ladies because we just picked on the gentlemen as far, and then just for a few etiquettes. But I have today is the official mystery questions day, so I hope you're prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, but as far as gentlemen, this one kind of throws me a little bit. So I wanted to bring this one back up on the show. In fact, I got to get my comments up so I can see what's going on. All right. I see George, you're over there. Good job. And Thomas says, hello, Ranger. So getting back to what I was doing here. So when it comes to being on, it has walking on the proper side of your date. This can be actually quite sophisticated. And so we were touching on it just a little bit on the last show. And I thought, I'd love to hear everybody, but here's a few things that you want to keep in mind. It says, when you switch sides of the street, first of all, slow your pace, step behind her, and gently move her across in front of you. Would you guys agree with that? Or you just say, hey, good luck. I hope you make it across.
Yeah, so if there's a shooting, she can protect you from the bullets.
I guess so. But when you're in,
no, not really. Actually, it's very. I don't know. I don't usually do that. I am going to be on the left side of her just to kind of keep her. I'm going to take the street side, and I usually keep her kind of, next to me a little bit. I let her walk a little bit in front of me, but I do keep her next to me. So that way, if something does happen, I can protect her.
So this one's kind of funny, but I think it
Throw
goes
her to the ground.
Yeah. So this is for indoors. When you're walking side by side indoors, it says walk with your date on the left-hand side. So and that doesn't work for me and Sherry because she's left-handed. So she always seems to be on my right-hand side. But they say, and a reason for this, you guys, you know why, don't you? Why you put the girl on the left-hand side of you?
In the old days, when they would go on the horses would come by and they'd splatter water.
Well, that's close. It is something to do with the old days. A man had to keep his sword, his right hand, available in case we got in danger. So it's medieval times.
Oh.
Well, that would still apply today
That's where I keep my sword.
if you're carrying a gun. You know, if you're right-handed, your gun is always on the hip, right, on the right side. So that would make sense.
And they say the modern
On the right hip, yeah.
military tradition too. The rule still applies. So, of course, that would be a problem if you're left-handed, right? And that's one of the exceptions. So,
well, those people are freaks anyway.
Somebody told me. Let's see. Wait till your date and friends are inside before pulling away. Okay, except there's one in here. It kind of threw me. Ask your date if she would like an order for the two of you. That doesn't have to do with walking. But the one that came across I want to ask you about is, girls, do you keep your purse in the inside of between you two when you're walking, or do you keep it in the outside when you're walking?
Outside.
And that's actually, I read that and I can't find it on this particular list, but
yeah.
So why?
First of all, well, if you were actually going to have somebody who was going to work on protecting you, they can't get close enough with you in your purse. And so it just doesn't work. On the outside, there's less, I don't have to worry about it bumping into him and blah, blah, blah. So no, and besides, I'm a right shoulder carrier, and I don't know about Flynn, but I know that my shoulder is conditioned after this many years of carrying my purse to be rounded and fit my purse on that shoulder. It doesn't work on my left side. So nope. So there's all the reasons.
It's actually a good question. I had a pretty, I'm
Good enough for me.
I'm very into my purse. And I remember my ex-fiance would be bothered when I'd put the purse in between us in the car. And he's like, can you move your purse away? I want to hold your hand when you drive. So he felt it was kind of a block to our intimacy when I would have my purse in between us when we were in the car. I wanted to point that out.
And I actually heard that it's not cool for women to put their purses on the table, remove contents out of your purse in front of people, and don't put it on a desk in the office. Do you guys agree with that?
I do. I think that it's a big space taker upper, and it looks tacky. Right. And you usually have a purse hook almost anywhere. So
yeah, that's a great thing.
But I also
sometimes the tables.
I would never put it on the floor either, though. So I don't know, but Flynn probably does this too. When you go out to eat and you're with your girlfriends, there's always a designated purse chair, and you all put your purse on that chair, and everybody just knows they're going to keep an eye on it, but it's attached to that chair, and there's a purse chair for that. Just for that
I don't put my purse on the floor. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Nope, never can go on the floor.
I'm still going to pick on the women a little bit here. So one more thing I wanted to check is it okay to is it good etiquette at home, for instance? Is it considered rude to shout from one room to the other?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
It's like, Rob, coming.
Yes. No, I would even be okay with that. It's the what? Oh my God, don't make me slap you. That just pisses me off.
So one more thing for women, if you're handed food on a plate, do you sit there and pick through which one you're going to take, or do you take the one most available?
You mean the closest to you?
Yeah. Or do you sit there and kind of examine the plate and say, oh, that one looks like the best, I'll take that one?
I probably do that.
And I'm gonna say I wouldn't do that because I wanted what looks best. If it has anything to do with meat, I eat my meat so well done, so dry that I would look for the driest, awfulest piece of meat, and then I would take that. But if it's something like dessert or whatever, I don't care. It's like it doesn't matter.
So one last one, and then I'm going to get to some mystery questions here. But so ladies, I'm picking on ladies because we picked on the guys last week. So last one, when you get into a car, they say she shouldn't step into it. You should go into the car sitting first, sitting on the edge of the seat. Do you agree with that? Like I dive in with a foot and just kind of in there, but gals are kind of like getting on a horse, kind of side saddle thing.
So I'm going to answer this one first. Flynn still looks like she's pondering. I have an SUV and we have all pickups. So pretty much you don't go into it ass first. It just isn't going to happen. It's definitely seat and compel yourself in. But if I had a car that was low to the ground, then yes, my butt would be in my chair first or seat and then slide around. So yeah, it depends on what you're driving.
I don't know.
But when I get out of a limo.
You don't know when you get in the car?
I don't know, Chandra. I don't even think about that. That's not something I think about. I do know I put my elbows on the table when I'm eating. I know that's terrible.
Oh, that's shameful.
Is it?
Shockingly awful.
You do that, Chandra?
No, never.
You don't put the elbow?
Like forearm is no. Like I'm probably showing a face of total appalled, but it's okay. I'll get over it. But no, not even one forearm is the max that can touch the table. I'm kind of an etiquette snob, so yeah, I'm. My husband doesn't like it, but it is true. I am an etiquette snob.
Okay, Bob, can I ask her a question?
Sure.
How do you feel about a man who scoops his food up with his hand?
Oh, I hate that.
Oh, God, no. Oh, God, yuck.
Now, what type of food are we talking about?
It doesn't matter.
I have yet to meet a man that actually is not knife adverse and uses his knife. Most men I know, they scoop up the food with their hand, and these are like well-educated.
What?
Well-educated guys.
Okay, and I have a.
Wait a minute.
So
are you talking about
what?
Are you talking about scooping a couple peas onto your spoon, or what are you talking about?
Yes.
There's something wrong with that?
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of thing. Oh, no.
I gotta admit, I've done that.
Wait a minute. I'm not going to spend like
Okay,
30 minutes trying to get the last two peas on my spoon. You know what I mean?
So you use your hand?
Exactly.
My finger.
No, don't leave it.
You don't just use the knife and let it just kind of touch it on there like that with the
Then you
knife?
got that like silverware scraping on
That's
the plate
probably what I would do
situation.
if I were going to finish a meal.
No, your silverware can't scrape either. That's not okay.
I know.
And I have a hard time with anybody who holds their silverware like this.
Yeah,
They make
that's
it like a shovel. This
that's
is how
good.
you hold your silverware. And put your fork down while you're chewing your freaking food. It's not impossible. Yes, I'm a silverware.
Close your mouth, please. Please keep your mouth closed.
Oh,
Okay, I sometimes am an offender. I'll do this.
There's nothing you have to say that should come out the same time you're eating. That's just
Right.
I always made it during my management days and during my business days when I were hiring people and stuff. In fact, I prefer to go to lunch with people to get to see if I want to hire them. And if one of the main things is the way they eat. If they eat like a horse, I won't. It's like most likely would not hire that person.
Okay, define eat like a horse, please.
Well, I mean, not holding their, just the way they control everything at the table, if they're slopping food in their mouth or not holding things properly, that tells me immediately that person doesn't care about anybody around them but themselves.
And I don't want to hear
What if that
people. I
person
don't
had
want
a
to hear
disability?
people eating.
Oh, that's true.
I do not want to hear you eating. Absolutely not. And one of the last things I ever want to hear is you crunch ice in front of me. I might just go ballistic or bat poo crazy. Oh my
There's
god!
people that
Drives me
actually. There's people that do the while they eat.
Sometimes do. It's really good.
Oh, wait a minute now. I do when I eat because it's so good. It's like it could be almost better than some sex I've had. So yes, I will make those kind of sounds.
You must have never been to
They
prison.
weren't hitting the spot, were they?
Would you say
I couldn't hear you. I didn't hear you, George.
What was that, George?
I think somebody said you've never been to prison.
I've never been to prison.
That was John.
Probably not hitting the right spot.
You are correct, John. I have not been to prison, and you're right, George. It might not have been in the right spot, but some food is better than some sex I've had. So,
Wow.
All right.
All right, guys. So I'm going to switch over to some tricky questions.
Okay, Flynn, good job.
All right, we're going on to tricky questions to ask your boyfriends, but I want guys involved in this one too. So here's the first question, and I'm going to ask
Tricky
George
questions.
first. This is for George. And I lost the question. Which year of your life would you relive and why?
Ooh.
Which year of my life would I relive and why?
Yeah.
I'd have to say my 30th year.
Wow. Why?
Because man, I tell you what, I was on top of the world. I was like a softball guru. I had lots of girls. I mean, because I was a sportsman.
I was going to say, George is going to tell you he had lots of girls.
I would do that like 3 times over. I wasn't going to say about the whole girls, but I'm just, yeah. But I would definitely live my 30-year-old over again because that was an awesome time.
Okay, well, my next one here is for John. You ready,
All right.
John? You
Yes,
didn't
sir.
think we were going to let you be quiet in the corner there. Does spending time with people exhaust you, or do you love it?
It exhausts me.
I kind of agree.
Yeah, I used to like it, and then I think this whole being locked in the house thing has just been the ultimate blessing for me.
Wow.
Yeah, because I see people for about 10 minutes at the grocery store, maybe once or twice a week, and that's enough for me.
I agree.
Funny.
So
You're
true,
funny,
brother.
John.
So true.
Yeah,
Funny.
but I do want to go back to the first question that you asked, George.
Yeah.
Because my first instinct was I'd love to live my first year over again because I was getting a lot of boob back then.
Oh, I bet you were.
Not George there. He never got any at all.
Aww.
Oh,
I did when I was 30.
Oh, we heard that. Holla.
I got a great question for this one. I think I'd like to throw this one. Actually, Chandra, this is the best for you. What is something you consider unforgivable?
Ooh.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh boy.
Nothing's
Wow.
unforgivable?
I am
Unforgivable.
absolutely nothing because I don't believe that people do things to be shitty. I think people have shitty behavior. And I can't think of a time that a human being hasn't been strictly a human being and done something. I know I have. And so there's nothing that's unforgivable. And I've been through a lot of things that might make one question, but no, there's nothing you could do. Now, there's things I will tell you, I'm very seldom impressed, and even less amazes me or shocks me. So when you do something stupid, I'm pretty much prepared for it.
Wow.
That's an interesting answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can attest to that.
I want to throw that at Lynn too. So what
Well, I don't know who Lynn is.
Yeah,
Flynn.
she's not here. But
Who's
Flynn
that
is.
Lynn girl?
Why do you want to
How
call
many
me
drinks have you
Lynn?
had, Rob?
The same reason you call me Bob all the time. It
I
just-
do that to get back at you.
you slipped.
Man,
a
Rob,
few
she's
times.
got the
Last show,
most
you slipped a
amazing
few times.
name.
They didn't
I've
slip
got
a
a
Bob
dope
today.
name,
though,
A and
Rob.
B. John's funny, John. His name is Robert, and I call him
Yeah.
Bob. Isn't Bob a derivative of Robert?
Well, my middle name is Robert, but don't call me John Bob.
Can we agree that Bob is a derivative? I'm going to ask George. George, is Bob a derivative of Robert?
Flynn, as long as we're friends, you can call me anything you
Si,
want.
senora.
Oh,
Okay, but I like my
Robert.
name. Okay,
But I-
okay. So what was the question?
Pencil.
Anything you want. Anything you want, Ranger Rob.
What is something you would consider unforgivable?
Ooh. I think
That's a good one.
I can think of a lot of things, honestly.
Me too.
I'm not as unconditional as Chandra over there.
Not everybody is.
I would love to hear what
What's
they
the word?
are.
I have a ton.
Yeah.
If
Just tell us one or two.
if they don't floss,
Oh,
Mm. You mean like the dance?
okay.
no, I'm very into dental hygiene. So if I was with somebody that like didn't floss, I couldn't do it. Like I that's important. So someone has to floss. If they don't, if I'm dating somebody, they go, look, I don't floss my teeth. It's not on. Not going to happen. I'm not going to do it.
Mm.
So that's my cheeky and honest answer. You've got to floss and have very good hygiene. But the first thing that came to my mind when you asked Chandra that was that if someone I love deeply just like murdered somebody for no reason, or I just like, I think murder, I would have a real hard time if somebody murdered somebody. Am I going too dark?
No, I that's right there.
No, that's pretty legit there. I think I'd have to be a little bit
I'm just
upset
going to
about that one.
remember.
Yeah.
I'm not
I can
gonna
handle
commit
the
murder
murder. I can't handle the
with
no
Flynn
flossing
around.
thing.
Yeah. No, I
Mine's the
think,
crunching of ice.
yeah, you're
That
I
is
would
pretty
say-
irritating.
I-
How about
You'll take murder over flossing.
how about a gum
That's right.
chewer?
If you don't floss, I might
Oh,
murder
what?
you.
How do you like gum chewers, especially the ones that kind of?
No. No.
not a deal breaker, but I don't love it.
What's
Shut
that?
your mouth.
Yes. I think one of the things that I can't forgive people for is when they take advantage of me.
Mm.
Okay, so I'm going to challenge that question.
Ooh,
I'm going to
okay.
challenge that statement.
Sure.
What makes you believe that people can take advantage of you?
Ooh.
Because whatever you offered is exactly what you put out there, and you agreed to it. And so if they continue to come back and do the same ill behavior, then your boundaries aren't very clear. So I'm challenging you.
I think I would have to say somebody takes something from me and then runs away with it.
And you don't tackle them to the ground?
No, I'm talking about, I'm thinking more business, radio, television shows, things like that.
Okay.
Rob, I told
And
you
I
I was
can-
going to return your
can-
weed whacker. I'll get it to you next week. I promise.
No, I've owned several companies in my past. So there's always somebody that thinks
Right.
they can run a company better than you can. So,
Mm.
I get pretty
Yes.
angry when I get someone who kind of tries to take a piece of your business and then start a new business and that kind of stuff. So I get a little.
What a compliment that they thought they could actually do what you were doing. Not.
Chandra, wow, you're good.
Yes, she is.
Chandra's good.
I'm not answering any more questions. I'm afraid.
Look at it created. That was great.
Yes. So, George, I got one here for you. Do you believe things are meant to happen or that they just
Sure.
do or they just happen? Do you think things are meant to happen or they just happen?
Yeah, I believe we have a certain path that we go to. I think we have a certain path that we go through. It's something that you kind of bring your life to. You have choices, and the choices you make sometimes bring you to a certain destination or a certain time. And so it kind of depends on what kind of choices you make in life, whether or not it's going to, actually bring you to a certain place where you're going to be. And it just depends on what happens and the choices you make, So that's about all I can say about that, because you never know what's going to happen. How's that?
Yeah.
That's true. So John, I like to just get since you're new on the panel today, I kind of like to hear this answer from you. And which qualities do you think are healthy? A healthy relationship should have?
Oh, this isn't like a multiple choice.
Oh,
you can take A, B, or C, John. It's okay.
Yeah, you're giving me a difficult one.
Yeah.
What qualities a good relationship should have? Well, definitely you got to a healthy relationship. You have to be willing to trust first and foremost. If your relationship doesn't have trust in it, then to me that's the foundation of any relationship. And if it doesn't have trust, then it's just not going to stand.
Yeah.
I think you should be equally yoked as well. In order to really, and I'm saying that from a spiritual side of things. It's not real healthy if you have a solid faith and your partner, is worshiping the moon or something. It's it can cause a lot of difficulties, especially if you bring kids into the situation. So I think you need to be equally yoked. You need to have faith, and I think or trust. You need to trust each other. And I think you have to be willing to leave divorce or separation off the table from the very beginning. I'm kind of with Chandra on that. I think you have to work through all things. And that's kind of got to be an upfront agreement.
That's good.
Yeah. Well,
thank you.
I'll
be here all week.
Pretty deep.
That's a circle clap.
That's it. Drop the mic. I'm out of here.
That was really good, John. You and Chandra are bringing the breath. You guys are bringing the breath.
You're on it. So we got to give Flynn a chance here and really knock it out of the dog.
Oh no!
Ballpark. You ready? What's something?
Go ahead, Flynn.
So Flynn, you ready?
I want you to know I'm really impressed with your answer, John.
Oh, thanks.
That was a good answer.
I appreciate that, Flynn.
No, really, I could learn from you, and I can learn from Chandra a lot. You guys are bringing a lot of.
Yeah. I identified you as a very shallow person the minute we. No, I'm just kidding.
Me? Oh,
George, we didn't say anything about you and me.
Yeah, right.
No, that's good.
No. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
I really like the way Chandra said there's nothing you couldn't do. She couldn't forgive. That's like really impressive. And then John, not Tom Gulley, said that divorce and breaking up is never an option. And I come from a family of, my mom's in her fourth marriage, my dad's on his third. So I come from nothing but failed marriages. So I really appreciate what you both are saying. It's speaking to my soul.
Oh, wow.
You're soulmates now.
Nice. Thank you.
Wow.
All right. So Flynn, here's your shot. You ready? I even said Flynn. What's something you're glad you never have to do again? Told you I had tough mystery questions today.
And you can't say this show.
That I never have to do again.
That's right.
I'm going to be kind of like Chandra. I don't think there's anything I've done that I will just never do again. I'm going to be like Chandra.
Wow, because I wouldn't say that one. Okay, I've got a lot of things.
Okay, here, help me out, because there was something I couldn't forgive.
Well, we are still anyway. Just know that there's some things that I'm really glad I don't have to do again. Okay.
Do you have kids?
I have 2 children, and I'm glad I'm not going to give birth ever again.
Okay.
I love them to pieces, but no thanks. I'm through a stage in my life where I don't have to deal with monthly issues. Thank Jesus.
Okay.
There are just things that I am grateful for that I'm like, oh, Jesus, I'll never do. Oh, by the way, I cliff dived one time. I'm never doing that again as long as I live.
Okay.
That was god awful. Oh, God, that was horrible. Yeah. Oh, the Grand Canyon Skywalk, where you can actually see to the bottom of the Grand Canyon from that glass thing. Never doing that again. So I have a long list of things I'm never doing again.
Weird, but it's
Isn't it
awesome.
interesting?
I thought.
Yeah, like your
Your
whole perineum drops out. Yeah. I'm never going into my perineum. The perineum just drops out of your body. It's like, oh my God.
Wow.
So but yeah, I don't ever want to go into Smoky Bar again as long as I live. I don't have to do that. Pretty much I've decided that if something happened to my husband, I am never dating again, because sometimes it's like going out with dry toast, whole wheat bread, no butter on it. Nope, not doing it. Yeah, my list is long on things that I don't ever want to do again.
Wow.
I could keep on going, you guys.
but
I can forgive anything.
Isn't it interesting, if I may, that she has a long list of things that she never wants to do again. I can't think of one thing I don't want to do again, and she will forgive anything. And there's a lot of things I won't forgive. Isn't that juxtaposition quite interesting?
But I have to ask you, how old are you, Flynn? If you don't mind me asking.
My stepdaughters don't know how old I am.
Is it over 20 or over 30?
Oh,
My
like, okay, so
stepdaughter-
I am like, oh, see, wear your age with pride, sister, because whatever you did, you earned it. Okay. Like, I'm 56, and sometimes I even tell people that I'm 76. So they just say, God, you look amazing.
I say that so I can get the cheap coffee at McDonald's.
Yeah.
So I'm
You know, I'm
That's
with you.
That's why. Yeah.
George.
So
I was
George,
retarded.
I got a question for George. George, what are tasks that you like to procrastinate on?
What task? What task don't I like to procrastinate on?
Exactly.
What's one of the worst ones?
I could give you a list. I'm a very neat kind of guy. I do like to keep clean and all that kind of stuff, but sometimes it's hard. You walk by, you see some dishes, you're like, oh damn, I really don't want to do those dishes, you know. So there's certain things I do procrastinate on. I mean, I'll go into the garage, I'll see something wrong with the garage. I'll say, man, I'm gonna fix that. 3 years later, I still haven't fixed that. You know, so there are certain things I do procrastinate on. But when it comes to like tasks that I know that I can complete really fast, I'll do it. If it's going to take a long time, it just depends on what it is.
Anybody else want to jump on board on that one?
Totally.
What's one of your worst procrastinations?
My worst?
For me, paperwork.
Oh yeah.
Paperwork.
That's a
Absolutely.
That's a good one there, man.
Detest paperwork.
So
And I'm so grateful that everything's emailed to you now, and I open it and I handle it. But before, no way, Jose.
I gotta ask this panel. I gotta ask the panel. When you guys get mail and all that stuff, do you accumulate a pile on your coffee table or one of your tables in your house? Is there like a pile of stuff that's like you don't know, you have to sort it? Like, oh my gosh.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, Flynn has the same pile on her bar I do.
Not me, man. We constantly have a pile of mail. There we go, like that. Mm-hmm. That it's either full of magazines that we're not sure we want to throw away, or it's something it's kind of like it needs to be filed. And it just grows and grows and grows. And finally, my wife, since it drives her crazy before me, she always, takes the time to sort it out. And then it just starts growing again. It's just, and yes, we have less mail and we get more email, but it still goes on. I don't know.
I'm about this close to not being allowed to get the mail anymore.
Yeah.
Because I go out, I bring the mail back in, and I just leave it in stacks. And,
Yeah.
it's my wife will eventually throat punch me, or she's going to take the mail key away from me, one or the other, because she's very organized.
Yep, mine too.
Yeah, me, not so much.
So I have a question for the whole panel here. What's the best way to end a long day? Who wants to start on that one? What's the best way to end a long day?
I personally think the best question you asked was, what was the best year of your life? But I'll be quiet.
Well, I'd like to hear that. Let's start with that. What was the best year of your life, Flynn? When you met
Chandra first. Ladies first.
Ooh, you're gonna go after
Aw, thanks, son. Yeah. I'm going to have to say, honestly, I think every single year I've had has been an amazing year. And I don't say that being cliche. I find something amazing in absolutely every single year that I can think of. Even years I don't necessarily want to repeat. So, yeah. So not very much fun.
All right. The tennis ball's over on your side now, Flynn.
I'm gonna be like George.
Uh-oh.
The best, I would say what comes to my mind, the best year of my life was 3 years ago. I decided that I was going to date like a millennial.
Ooh.
Oh,
Cougar.
do tell.
Yes.
I dated like a
No, I
millennial.
think she means she dated like a millennial.
No, I didn't date a millennial.
Yeah, you didn't date a millennial. Yeah, I was going to say, wait a minute. She's not talking about being a cougar. She's talking about dating like a millennial. Please
Dating
continue
like
to
a
expound.
millennial.
That's awesome.
I was dating
Yeah.
like a millennial. Yeah, what they're doing now is they're dating more than one person at a time.
Oh.
It's called
So-
polyamory.
Oh.
Yeah. So for about 6 months, I had more than one lover. I had,
Oh, sorry,
Nothing wrong
guys.
with that.
well, I was
Nothing wrong with that.
I was a virgin till I was 20, and then my sophomore year in college, I had monogamous boyfriends, and then I had a fiance, then I had a boyfriend, then I had a fiance, then I'd be celibate for 8 months, and then I'd get a boyfriend and be celibate for 8 months and get a boyfriend, and then for these 6 months, I just let myself.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom,
Yeah.
chicka, boom.
And that was something that was something I just was like never done before. So it was pretty exciting. And my friends are like, oh, we did that in high school. We did that in college. I'm like, I just never did that. So for me, it was like,
That was some good stuff, wasn't it, Flynn?
It was
That was some good stuff.
It was exciting. It was
I
exciting.
did it at 30, baby. I tell you, man, that was some good stuff.
George, see? I told
I'm
you.
down.
You don't have to be a millennial to do that.
Yeah. Okay, George, how long did your little period go?
Oh man, mine was all year long, baby.
It was a
All
whole
year
year?
long.
Okay, yeah, no,
That
mine
was
was
I'm
bad.
going to say that George, I've known George a long time. It was probably more like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, she's totally right. Yeah, Chandra's probably pretty
Yeah.
right.
Can I ask a question?
I was going to say,
George? How many
Yes, ma'am.
women were you with in that year when you were 30? May I ask?
Oh my gosh.
oh, George, you better say like 8, 10.
10, say 10.
It's like Wilt Chamberlain, like 20,000.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get a
Yeah.
calculator.
Like,
No, just give us an
yeah.
idea.
Like George.
No, I'm serious about probably I'd
he's-
say about maybe 7 women.
Oh.
In a year?
Oh, I don't believe that. I think there was more.
Okay, so I might have been exaggerating a little bit. Okay, I'll bump it
Yeah,
up 10.
he's under-
Okay,
No, to be honest, how many really was it? It was 7?
10.
No, for real, how many? How many in a year?
He can't keep
10.
count.
Yeah.
For that time frame, I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Between 10.
So I'd see somebody between 10. Yes.
He was a hunk of burning love.
And would it be like one off? So would you like be dating? Like can you give
It'd
me
be like, yeah, I'd be like dating one, sort of, and then I'd be dating another one. So it'd be kind of like I'd be dating like 3 at a time. And then I'd get real serious with one. And then I'd find somebody else. And then that kind of relationship would dissolve. Then I go into another one, and then another one, another one. And then I'd be dating another one. So it went like that for years.
For years?
And then depending.
She knows. Chandra
And then
knows.
I'm pretty sure when he deployed, when George would deploy, that would change his cycle of females all over again, because girls aren't always going to wait around for a guy that's deployed on a ship. So when he'd come back in, he'd recycle through a whole lot, because I know some of the girls that he dated. Okay, we haven't, but I do know.
Whoa.
I could start listing them.
He does.
Yeah,
Well,
I could list them.
With me, there was no ship. There was no need for a ship or deployment. It was just a summer of love.
The summer of love.
Good
There
for
you go.
you, Flynn.
There were a
Summer
couple
of
ships.
love.
There were a couple ships that came around. Yeah, there was a couple ships that came around.
All right, so
There you go.
I'm going to throw a new one at the panel here, and I think I got this from Flynn on one of her shows.
Aww.
I thought I'd write it down and throw it at the panel.
Aww.
What is the best advice you've ever been given?
I got one.
Go for it.
Ooh, wow.
All right. We tend to judge others by their actions when we judge ourselves by our intentions. And we need to reverse
wow.
that.
Say that again.
Yeah.
So we tend to judge
That was
other
good.
people by their actions. And we judge ourselves by our intentions.
Wow.
That's pretty deep.
I like that.
I like that one.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we need
Good
to
one,
learn
John.
how to kind of adjust that and realize that other people's intentions aren't always impure or evil. And maybe we need to focus more on our own actions.
And their intentions?
Yes.
So focus more on their intentions than their actions, and we should focus more on our actions.
Bingo. We get it backwards.
Interesting.
That is so
I like that.
good, John.
Circle clap.
Circle clap.
Oh man.
Yeah.
How about you, George? What's the best advice you've ever been given?
The best advice I've ever been given.
Morty
Don't take
Victor.
a
Did you
wooden
see what he
nickel?
said?
Don't take a wooden
Yeah.
nickel. So actually,
See, Morty? That's funny.
It's horrible.
Yeah. I just might share that in church this weekend, Morty.
For sure.
that's a good one, Morty.
Oh.
The best advice I've ever been given. Gosh, that's a tough one because there's a lot of things that have been told that I've actually taken to heart. Mostly because you want to be a good friend. One of my friends that have passed away, and excuse me if I get a little torn up.
Aw.
Excuse me. A friend I lost in the Navy. So he said, always be kind to people
Aw.
so that they can be kind to you. And that's what I do. I live my life sometimes that way.
You've lived up to those expectations. I can guarantee you as a friend.
So
Without a
excuse me.
doubt.
Yep.
So sorry about that, guys. Just that
Oh,
No,
Terry,
thank you.
I never apologize for that, man. And thank you for your service, brother.
I mean, John had such a
Yeah.
good answer, but you just trumped him with all that emotion. John, I'm sorry.
Oh,
it's all
Church
right.
practiced that all week.
Yeah,
All week.
shot John down. John was winning.
oh. Thanks a lot, George.
Yeah.
You're welcome, John. Anytime I need to cry, I'll do it.
Oh, man.
All right, girls. How about you? Any best advice you've gotten from friends or family?
Chandra first, of course.
Silence builds character.
That's tough. That's good.
Mm.
Tough, but
Yep.
good.
And it doesn't mean like not speaking your truth. But so often you'll want to rush in with a statement to either defend yourself or something. And if you honestly take into account what somebody has to say, there's always something that's probably useful from it that you could use and grow from. And at the same time, there's a lot of times your input just isn't worth a shit. Just shut
That's
up
right.
and walk away from it.
Can
Right.
I piggyback on that? Because I had
Absolutely.
one of my bosses told me it's better to keep quiet and let the people think you're stupid than to speak up and prove them right.
My dad used to say that to my
Bro,
brothers
I
all
like
the
it.
time.
I like it.
Yep.
So true.
The silent majority, man. Silent majority.
Flynn, how about you? Oh,
Wow.
If you can't loosen your grip, oh no, sorry, I just ruined it. If you
There you
can't,
go.
if you can't let go, loosen your grip.
Okay.
that makes
That's
sense. Yeah.
Hmm.
Wow. I'm telling you, we should write a book. We could have our own she said, he said Psalms. Wow, that was a good one, and that was from one of your shows, I think, Flynn.
Hold on loosely, but don't let go.
Ooh, that's a song, isn't it?
Ooh, a
Hold
little
on,
38
Lucy, but don't
special
let go.
there.
I
Yeah,
love
you got
that.
it. You got it, Chandra.
Yeah, 38 special. Rosington Collins. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
All right, I got another one for the whole panel here, so this ought to be interesting. Have any of you dealt with having to have approval to whom you dated?
You got that from me.
Mm.
No, I don't think I got that one from you.
That was my topic.
It sounds like
It's okay.
a Flynn thing.
Yeah, I don't
Definitely.
remember that one, but
Oh, it's okay.
actually, we had a reason I wrote it down is actually we used this question on the panel 3 years ago.
Okay, so approval from whom?
Family,
Yeah.
mother, father, brother, sister,
Yeah.
girlfriends, boyfriends. Ever had to deal with that? Was that ever an issue in your families?
For me, no, but for my
In
kids,
mine.
yes.
For your kids, yes.
I was just
Yeah.
going to yeah.
Yeah, with my daughter growing
I was
up in
just going to say
Mesa,
not for me.
growing up in Mesa, you're familiar with the there's a prevalent religion
Yes.
in Mesa, and so I hope this doesn't offend anyone, but my daughter was not, or my son too, was not allowed to date anyone from that church because of the it's just there's so many roles and things, and people end up leaving their own families to be part of that, and that was something that I just forbid.
Was that a cult?
Well, I don't know if they would
It's not,
call it a
but I know
cult.
what Tom's
Yeah. So
I know what John's
Yeah.
talking about because living in Nevada, when we moved here, I never had to worry about that where I'm from. But when we moved here, my oldest daughter, she became friends with quite a few people, and I was very specific. You're not allowed to date. You can hang out, but our morals our standards are our standards, and we're not changing that based on something else. And also, like, because I have 2 daughters biologically and 3 stepdaughters, I was always very careful about who they dated. And I even remember my first son-in-law. He was a wonderful man, but I had said that my daughter wasn't old enough to be someone's wife.
Yeah.
And they got it turned around, and she thought I said she wouldn't be a good wife, and I said, no, that's not what I said. You're not old enough to be somebody's wife, and you've been everywhere, and he's lived in one place his entire life, and his belief system isn't the same as ours, and you guys are going to have a hell of a time when push comes to shove. And it did in the long run. So so yes, I have given my strong opinions about who my daughters date, but I have to be honest, my parents always trusted the judgment of whoever I dated.
Your parents sound like really amazing people.
Let's not get carried away there, Flynn. No, they really are.
Yeah.
They are. One of the things that, I learned very early on was that nobody could ever take your knowledge away from you. And as long as you chose to have self-respect, nobody could take that from you. It was something you earned, gave to yourself, and you could keep it as long as you wanted. Everything you did would either further that or undermine it. So they work with people.
Wow. You guys have got great answers today. I'm going to throw one more out to the whole panel for you guys to mull on. And anybody wants to jump in this one first, but what would your occupation be if you followed your childhood dream?
I saw that on Facebook today.
Did you? I wrote this down weeks ago. He stole it from me then.
Yeah.
I know where.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Okay, this sounds awful, but it's funny. I wanted to be Miss Kitty from Gunsmoke. And so I wanted to be a saloon hall dancing girl. And I thought, even though she was on black and white, I knew her dress was black and red with ruffles, and she got to wear big high hair. And I didn't like the fact that Matt Dillon didn't get to stay. But, oh, yes, I wanted to be Miss Kitty from Gunsmoke. And if all else failed, then I wanted to be a beautician. So anyway,
you could move to Tombstone and you could fulfill your dreams.
They don't make corsets that big anymore, John.
That I won't comment on.
That was the cool answer. I love that answer. Anybody else?
That's what I wanted to be like. That's like my biggest secret. That truly is. I wanted to be Miss Kitty from Gunsmoke.
That's so cute.
Cool.
Wow.
How about you? Anybody else got a childhood thing that you're just passionate about, but obviously didn't become your occupation?
Major League Baseball player.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And did you play any baseball?
Oh.
Yeah, I played all the way through my junior year in college.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted to be Daniel Boone or Davy Crockett.
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
Remember the Alamo.
Hey, in 5th grade, I took Sherry to our first date was to go see Davy Crockett.
Wow.
5th grade.
Wow.
Yeah. Of course, back then you could actually get the rifle and a hat and everything as a kid. You get that nowadays, you'd be, kicked out of school and expelled.
All right. Everybody wants to know what Flynn wanted to be when she was a child.
No, John, you first.
No, I said Major League Baseball player.
I thought that was George that said that.
No, the other guy. It's that other guy.
What'd George say? What'd George say?
I didn't say anything. I was waiting for you.
I was actually looking at you when he said that. I thought it was you. Isn't that interesting?
Come on, Flynn.
I can move my mouth and then
we're still
make it sound like
George's last
one.
Well, my grandmother said that when I was a little girl, I said I wanted to be a mom. And I have 2 stepdaughters. So I think I got it. And I always wanted to adopt a child. So in a way, having 2 stepdaughters is kind of like adopting. So I kind of got that.
That is.
Well, I think I wanted to be an actress, which I was. And now I want to be a talk show host. So that's what I'm trying to do. So
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I like
dream
Marty
of being
Victor's
pursued.
answer.
Huh?
The dinosaur hunter.
I like Marty Victor's.
that. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
the dinosaur hunter. That's awesome.
Well, you, George, what did you
Yeah.
want to do when you were a kid?
When I was a kid, I always looked up to my father because he was a firefighter. So
Sweet.
I got to go on the real little red trucks, and I mean, it wasn't little red trucks. They were just a lot of fun, and I love that. I love that about that part of it. And believe it or not, when I was in the military, I ended up being a volunteer firefighter for 3 years. So I mean, I didn't quite get to that part of the dream, but I was still a firefighter. And believe it or not, my son, who is 35 now,
Wow.
is also a firefighter in the Navy.
Wow.
That's awesome.
I can't believe
So
you have
all three of us
35-year-old
actually been
son.
firefighters. Yeah, so that was my dream, to be a firefighter. And then I kind of lost my ways as far as staying on track. And then I ended up doing the other things, becoming an electronics technician and all kinds of stuff. I mean, a pipeline worker in the
Wow.
Navy, electrician, flight deck troubleshooter. I mean, I've done so many things. It's insane how many different, and an instructor at Boeing. So,
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
so I've done a lot of different things. But I tell you what, that was the most fulfilling, was being a firefighter for that 3 years. So
Sweet.
that was fun. Remember that, Chandra?
Yes, I do.
Yep.
All right, so I got a
There
question.
you go. How about that?
Staying on love and romance a little bit here. Do men need to be more like women, or do women need to be more like men?
Neither.
Yeah, I'm going to go with
I think
Tom,
women
or
need to
John,
be
and
more
say
like
neither.
women, and men need to be more
Yes.
like men.
I have a question. I think
Exactly.
I've got a question that I think it's going to piggyback off what Rob said, and I think you guys might like it. May I?
Do it.
Mhm.
Do you men want to be needed or wanted? What's more important to you?
Say that again one more time. And by the way, we have
All
three
three
minutes
of
left.
you, starting with Bob, all three of you, or whatever, however you guys want to do it. Is it more
Okay.
important for you to be needed by your woman or wanted by your woman?
Wow.
I would have to say wanted.
Same here. Wanted.
Was that John? Okay.
I say both. I want to be wanted, but I want to be needed too. But I also raised my daughter to be not a needy person. I refused to have a daughter that was needy to anyone, and she turned out just perfect. so I don't want to be too needy. I don't want Sherry to be needy on me, because I want her to be an independent woman and can handle herself. But to be wanted, I lean more towards that too.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, all three of you men would rather your woman want you more than need. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I
And
would say,
Chandra?
Are you asking that in regards to my husband and if I
No.
want or need him, or are you asking if I want to be wanted or needed?
I'm sorry. I'm going to pose the same question to the men as I'm asking you. Is it more important for you to feel needed or wanted by your partner?
Wanted. I don't want to be with anybody who's needy or needs me. I would like to know that they can take care of themselves and handle themselves.
Exactly.
There's definitely things I provide, and I do maybe better than he does, and vice versa. So we balance each other out, but definitely wanted. No, I think being needed sounds so desperate and codependent, and I'm not okay with that. So
Well,
Yep.
I'm with
How about
Rob.
Guys, we have about 1 minute. 1 minute.
I'm with Rob. I want to be wanted and needed. I kind of go with
Okay.
what Rob said. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, you guys were great. There was some great stuff in this show today.
I know. We
Wow.
broke some ground tonight.
Yeah, and John,
I know. Thanks, John.
appreciate our
You're
hour goes
great.
really fast, but John, I want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Yeah.
you, John. I hope you're back. Come back.
My sister-in-law.
John, that was awesome. Thank you.
Please
Yeah.
come back.
Oh,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It was an honor to be on the show, and I appreciate you, Rob, and everybody for being so cordial and nice and welcoming. It was awesome.
Oh, anytime. Well, yeah, we'll have you back for sure. So, guys.
Well, Rob said we had to be nice to you.
You guys did good.
He said, "Don't scare him."
Now I gotta give him. Now I gotta give him all candy bars. Jeez.
I want you to want me to come back. I don't want you to need me to come back.
Yeah.
but I gotta tell you, I asked you guys. You all thought about it. It wasn't an easy answer. You guys all were like,
"Oh, that was a good one." All right, guys, we got to roll. But I want to thank you all for on the panel, and till next week, guys, be safe out there. And if you ever have questions or anything you want our panel to talk about, just throw them at us and give us notes, and we'll throw it at the panel, no problem. So, goodbye, everybody.
Thank you.
All right, and all the chatters, thanks for chatting. You guys
Happy
are great
Veterans
too.
Day, all the veterans out there.
And the panel can stay on.
Thank you very much
Thanks,
for
John.
watching our video. Please take the time to like, subscribe, and share our videos all over the whole wide world. Thanks.